So LeBron is playing tonight in Boston. You know how much I love talking about LeBron and the Cavaliers. So I figured, hey, even though it's late, I had to do a video report today. I'm going to break down the Cavaliers-Celtics game with first place in the Eastern Conference playoff race at stake. Plus, give you a free pick on one of your baseball games on the West Coast, the Dodgers and the Padres. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here, and this is going to be your better late than never Wednesday video report. So let's talk about it. The Celtics are a 4-point favorite tonight. Earlier today, they were 4.5. I figured that line would come down because, hell, everybody and their brother was going to jump on the Cleveland Cavaliers. And surprisingly not. They have, right? Listen, the Celtics are just 3 games removed from a 3-point loss at home, laying 7.5 points to Milwaukee. Now, true, they have won 9 of their last 11 games. The other loss came to Philadelphia. Go figure. That was a day Philadelphia had like 7.5 healthy bodies available. Cavaliers coming off a win against Orlando last night. They've won 2 of 3 in the season series. No big surprise. LeBron has been dominant in the season series, averaging 27 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 11 assists. And Isaiah Thomas has done all he can possibly do for the Celtics in those 3 meetings, averaging a little over 33 points. Now, a lot of statistics to run by you here. Looking at the ESPN stats and info today, they had some great numbers. Of course, the obvious one is that the Cavaliers, who played last night at home against Orlando and needed a big third quarter, I think they put 43 points on the board to put away the Magic in that contest and get the cover in a 20-point win. Bottom line is the second of back-to-back games this season and back-to-back night games, they are 1-9 on the year. 1-9. Now, 4 times LeBron has sat out the second of back-to-back, but this is an aged team. In fact, they are the second oldest team in the league. This is also going to be the Cavaliers' 5th game in 7 days. And really, when you think about it, it's even more than that because they were extended to double overtime when LeBron had the triple-double in Sunday's win against the Pacers. And they played 12 road games in the month of March. So you've got a tired team, you have an older team, you have a road-weary team, and you have a Boston team that, tell me, when's the last time the Celtics won a big game? That's my problem here tonight. Listen, all indications and all the numbers I'm going to give you lean toward the Celtics. But how confident do you feel in laying the 4 points with Boston? There's a reason that this price dropped from 4.5 to 4, because people are jumping on the Cavaliers early. They wanted that extra half point. I don't blame them. And I look at this, and Cleveland, the Cavaliers, yes, they're going to be without Tristan Thompson tonight because he suffered a injury in last night's game that's going to keep him out indefinitely. But listen, the Celtics may be without their best front court defender, Jay Crowder, who has been bothered by elbow issues here for the past week or so, and he's day to day. That could be a neutralizing factor, for the C's here tonight. But Cavaliers also know the value of having the home court advantage through their portion of the Eastern Conference playoffs. No matter what they say about this just being another game, no matter what they may tell you about the fact it doesn't matter who they play in the playoffs, they still have to play the games, they want the Eastern Conference home court advantage and how important it is. Now, you do have the situation that because you have an older team in the second of back-to-back games, naturally, older legs, they don't perform as well defensively. And you look at some of the stats, you have a team that allows 112 points per 100 possessions, 27th in the league when they're playing with 0 days rest. And when that 0-day rest situation happens on a road game, like tonight, they give up 113. Now, they are awful numbers. But then you go to KenPom.com and you see that, defensive efficiency, again, number of points allowed per 100 possessions. On the year, the Cavaliers give up 110.4. So 0 rest, no rest, home, it doesn't matter. They're not that good of a defensive team, and that's been their problem all through the month of March as well. And Ty Lue has tried a bunch of different things. He's had Kyrie Irving playing the opposing point guards here of late. They've tried to get their defensive rotation set. What's really hindered Cavaliers' efforts has been all the injuries they've absorbed. but they can't get away from the injury bug. Finally, J.R. Smith seems to be back in the groove, 19 for 33 from three-point range in his last 4 games. Kevin Love seems to be back in the groove, 28 points, 11 rebounds last night. Kyle Korver returns from a 4-game absence, has 11 points last night. What happens? Tristan Thompson, right? Their one legitimate big man, if you want to call him, the guy who starts most of the games at center, he gets hurt last night. So they just can't get healthy. But again, I just like the Cavaliers plus the points. And you know I'm not a LeBron fan. And you know I'm not a Cleveland fan. And this is a Cleveland team that's just a 500 team on the road, 19-19 straight up. I'm not saying they win this game, but I think this one goes right down to the wire. And you've seen LeBron just come up with some incredible efforts here in the past few games. Look at what he did against the Pacers in the double overtime win on Sunday. I mean, a triple-double in that game because they needed him to perform, and he's playing so many minutes. And Ty Lue said that, his starters are going to continue to play the big minutes. And then he came up with the double-double again last night. I mean, that double overtime win against Indiana, he had 41 points, 16 rebounds, 11 assists. And then last night against the Magic, 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. And again, the Cavaliers have won 2 of the 3 meetings this season. So I'm going to take the Cavaliers plus the points in this one. Now, baseball. Listen, the one thing that has changed in baseball betting in the 25 years since I first placed my very first bet, which I lost, but I made up for it, is that you got to play more games on the run line. Run line plays are the way to go. Because in the old days, 25 years ago, you didn't have mediocre number 3 starters on Midland teams, average teams, just because they were at home laying $1.80. Nowadays, you could be a sub 500 pitcher on a sub 500 team, and you're playing at home, and you could be laying $1.75. It just is that way. In the old days, it was your aces were the guys you had to lay the big money with. Not now. I mean, it's just a different way to play. So you have to be smart, and you have to play games on the run line. Case in point, tonight's game with the LA Dodgers. Listen, last year the Dodgers opened the season with 3 straight shutouts of the San Diego Padres. Well, they opened this season with a 14-3 rout in the opener, banged out 14 hits, hit 4 homers to support Clayton Kershaw's pitching. Last night I had a 10-dime play on the Dodgers and I lost them. On the run line, even money against the Padres because Clayton Richard came out of nowhere and beat me. Well, tonight's the rubber game in the series, and I say the way to go is to back the Dodgers again. I look at the outset of the season for teams that I feel are going to be the absolute bottom of the barrel teams in baseball, and especially early in the season and then again in the dog days of summer. Those are teams I like to go against repeatedly. Now, that means I'm going to have to play their opponents on the run line frequently, right, to get decent numbers. But I think the Padres are the worst team in baseball. Last year, I thought it was Philadelphia early in the season. They surprised me, but they eventually came back to earth. I thought San Diego was a lousy team last year. I thought Minnesota was a lousy team last year. I think San Diego, that's them this year. I mean, this is a Padres team that has, I think, 19 new players on their roster from a year ago on opening day. They have 3, the Rule 5 draft picks, 3 of those guys on the roster, so they're keeping them on their major league roster this season as well. This is not a good team. They're going with Trevor Cahill tonight. He spent all last year in the Cubs bullpen. He only made 1 start in his 50 appearances. Dodgers are going with Rich Hill. Rich Hill, good pitcher the last couple of years when he can stay healthy. Probably not going to get more than maybe 80 pitches out of him tonight, but the Dodgers have a damn good bullpen. And I'm looking for the Dodgers to rebound tonight against Cahill, who really, when you go back and you look at his stats, he had 2 pretty good seasons as a starter in the majors. You'd have to go back to like 2012, 2011 to see the last time that he was really an effective major league starting pitcher. Gives up a lot of hits, gives up a lot of runs. I just think the Dodgers on the run line tonight, taking them down to 115, 120, is the way to go as they rebound from last night's shutout. Because this Dodgers team will hit this season. They didn't hit for me last night, so they owe me one. So the Dodgers on the run line, along with the Cavaliers plus the points, those are your 2 free plays. Good luck, everybody. Talk to you again tomorrow.